you're watching this, we want more money.
So I have 3 jobs.
You don't have to go to college.
If you want to make a lot of money,
That's important.
don't go into...
I think it's just really important for young people to be transparent about their pay.
This is Hannah Williams from Salary Transparency. Today we're in New York City. Let's go ask some New Yorkers what they do for a living and how much they make. What do you do for a living?
I work in ad sales.
Ad sales. How long have you been doing that?
About 10 years.
Cool. What's your educational background?
I have a bachelor's degree from University of Delaware.
Nice. What did you study in school?
Fashion, so something a little bit different.
Nice. How did you go from fashion into what you're doing now?
I had a couple brutal internships and found a sales job and loved it.
Yeah, those internships, they're make or break,
Yeah.
right? How much are you making in your role?
I'm a 50-50 split, about 300 OT.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's pretty good. Do you feel well compensated?
Yes, especially living in New York.
For sure. So you live in New York.
Yeah.
How are your expenses, like rent? Is it, cost of living really eats into your paycheck, you think?
Yeah. I have a studio in West Village, so it's not cheap.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it is not cheap around here. Any advice for others who are interested in doing what you do, getting to that 300 OT?
Ad sales is great. It's a good opportunity. Sales is brutal, but just go after it.
I love it. Good paycheck. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
I
Have a
appreciate
good one.
it. Do we look good? Do we sound good, James? All right, what do you do for a living?
So I'm an entrepreneur.
Oh.
I own my own business, theater-based, tour-led operating business. And we also own a ticketing service.
Cool.
But I just resigned as a conductor from the NTA.
Okay, so you're doing your own thing. You're going full force entrepreneur. Do you mind sharing what you were making with MTA before?
Oh, with the MTA before, I was making about $70,000 a year. That was after 8 years.
Okay.
And now
And how much are you making now?
so because it's very seasonal, it fluctuates. But we just made $12,000 a month.
$12,000 a
These
month.
last 2 months.
That's
These last 2 months, and we're
amazing.
steadily increasing. But we'll see what happens next month because the peak season is over until
Yeah.
Christmas.
I feel like you have a value, like a benefit here in New York, though, that of course there's going to be seasons, but you always have tourists, right? So it
Absolutely.
works.
And always have tickets as well.
Exactly.
And I actually have a gift for you. So if you, while you're here or whenever you come back, this is a playbill pouch, and look us up. We'll give you comp tickets. Whatever.
Zoom in on this.
Oh no.
Thank you
No,
so much.
it's
I
for you.
appreciate it.
I appreciate what you're doing. So that's why. Yeah.
Any advice for others who also want to be entrepreneurs, do their own thing, run a ticketing business, run a tour business? What would you share?
So if you want to get into the tour operating business or like experience hosting, I would say to start off with third-party websites.
Okay.
You reduce the risk.
Yeah.
Instead of like buying your own website, instead of like starting your own Instagram page first, start off that way. Use them as their marketing, use their promo and all of that. And then, once you start making money, do your own thing, of course, expand. And also forget about the money in the beginning. You're not going to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Focus on the connection. Connection is also a type of currency.
Yes.
And then the money will come in. That's what
Yeah.
happened for me. And so, yeah.
I love it. Where can people find you and come take a tour with you?
Oh, MandeeMarquis.com or Mandee Marquis on Instagram.
I love it. What do you do for a living?
I'm an analytics manager for a real estate company.
Very cool. How long have you been doing that?
In real estate for about 90 days, but
Okay.
analytics for about 6 years now.
Nice. What's your educational background? Relevant to analytics?
Yeah, so right now I am, I guess I went to school for business,
Okay.
and right now I'm getting my MBA.
Nice. And how much are you making in your role?
I'm making around 130.
130.
Yeah.
And are you based in New York?
I am based in New York now.
Very cool. Do you feel well compensated and relative to cost of living in New York? How's it going?
I do feel well compensated in terms of work-life balance and liking the work that I do.
I love it. Any advice for others who are interested in getting into analytics or real estate? Anything you would share with them?
I would say find something that you're interested in and learn it deeply and become the expert in that area and be confident and know your value.
I love it. Sky's the limit. Thank you so much, Vanessa. I appreciate it. What do you do for a living?
I am a teacher in New Jersey.
Awesome. What do you teach?
I teach kindergarten, so the little itty bitty babies.
Very difficult job.
Yes, so in demand, so difficult, lots of responsibilities nowadays for teachers. There's a lot of pressure on us nowadays.
And such an important job
Yeah,
as well.
For sure. Yes, for sure. So
How long have you been a kindergarten teacher?
I am on my 3rd year. I've taught first grade for 2 years, and this is my first year in kindergarten. So I'm super excited.
How
Yeah.
does first grade compare to kindergarten?
Oh my gosh, so drastically different. You wouldn't think that that age would just be a total difference, but
Yeah.
it totally is. Kindergarten, they come in, they don't know anything. So I feel like I'm a mom and a teacher and everything in between.
Yeah, seriously. How much are you making in your role?
I am making $60,000. Teachers are really underpaid, and I hope that kind of changes a little bit soon with the demand in society and, like I said, all the responsibilities that are put on teachers.
Yeah. And the transparency of knowing that teachers are so underpaid.
Right, yeah.
Any advice for others who are interested in doing what you do, how to survive being a kindergarten teacher?
Yeah, it's definitely a calling and it's a passion. Teaching was not something I originally planned to do. It was just something that came about, and I love it, I enjoy it, and I wouldn't change it for the world. So if teaching is your calling and you love working with kids and you love making a difference, teaching's for you. So
What do you do for a living?
I do TikTok for a living,
Very
so
cool.
content creation.
What's your account? What do you talk about?
Nomadically Ryan, and I just travel the world. I live in a van right now, and then I just backpacked in Asia, so I just travel.
That is so cool. How much do you make in your role?
So last year I made a salary of $40,000, which is
nice.
pretty decent. Yeah.
And that's from TikTok.
Just from TikTok, yeah. So it's
Wow.
pretty nice. And then since I live in a car, I don't have to pay rent, so it just goes to travel and living.
I love it.
Yeah.
Any advice for anyone who wants to be a TikTok creator? What would you tell them?
I would say do something along your passions and post every single day and just have fun with it, because it feels more like a passion and a hobby more than a job.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a case manager. I have patients kind of all age ranges, and I work with recovering addicts and kids with mental disabilities. Make about $45,000 a year.
Wow, how long
I
have you
love
been
it.
doing that?
A couple months. I just started in July. Yep.
Okay.
Graduated with my bachelor's in psych, and now I just started, so it's really exciting.
And you said you make $40K?
Yeah, about.
Do you feel well compensated?
Yeah, I do.
Wonderful.
Especially in Wisconsin. Maybe not in New York.
Maybe not in New York.
Yeah.
And what about you? What do you do for a living?
I'm a nurse.
a nurse.
Yep.
How long have you been doing that?
Since 2008, I work in the neonatal intensive care unit with premature babies.
Wow. Okay. Very important jobs here. I see empathy, giving back to the communities. How much do you make in your
I
role?
make $43 an hour.
43 an hour.
Yep.
Do you feel well compensated?
No,
No. Tell me why.
not enough staff, but that's all the way around.
And you're based where?
I am in Clarksville, Tennessee.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. I really
thank you.
appreciate it. We ask strangers what they do for a living and how much they make to promote pay transparency.
Okay.
Are you interested in a quick 2-minute interview? Awesome. What do you do for a living?
I'm in the staffing industry. I'm managing director.
Very cool. How long have you been doing that?
6 years.
6 years. What's your educational background? Relevant to staffing?
Just bachelor's in business management.
Business management. And how much are you making in your role?
About 175.
Wow. Do you feel well compensated?
Yeah, I run my own business.
Very cool. Do
Yeah.
you live in New York?
I do.
Awesome. How is cost of living out here? How's rent?
Horrible.
I am a project coordinator for a solar company.
Cool. How long have you been doing that?
About 3 years.
3 years. What's your educational background?
My degree's in environmental studies. I went to Queens College.
Very cool. How much do you make?
$80K a year.
Okay. Do you feel well compensated?
A little bit here, could be a little more, but for the work that I do, yes, but maybe a little more would be nice.
We love it. Any advice for others who are interested in doing what you do? What would you share?
Be an advocate for yourself, I would say. It's especially a very, in my experience, male-dominated industry. So for any women that are interested in it, just do your research, make sure you know the background of solar, and you can advocate for yourself and move up higher in the industry, is what I would say.
Are y'all interested in a quick interview? We're asking people what they do for a living and how much they make to promote pay transparency. You guys up for a quick?
I definitely will, because I don't get paid enough.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a graphic artist.
Where do you work?
I work in a company called in Trinidad, where I'm from.
Oh, cool. And how long have you been doing that?
I've been there for a year, but I've also been doing it freelance for a couple of years.
Okay. And how much are you making?
Not enough.
Not enough.
No, yeah. Honestly, if we were to convert it to US dollars, I would think it would be about 2,000 US.
A month. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah, that's where I work. But I mean, where I work is considered to be a decent pay. All right, but out here is nothing.
And are you thinking about moving out here? Do you work here?
Hey, if I get a little job opportunity up here, definitely.
I love it. Any advice for others who are interested in doing what you do?
Don't stop believing in yourself, honestly. Just bet on yourself and you'll win 100% of the time.
I'm sorry to bother you. We're doing interviews for our channel, Salary Transparency. You may have seen it on TikTok. Awesome. I was curious if you're up for a quick 60-second interview. What do you do for a living?
I work in local government.
Local government.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
How long have you been in your role?
Almost 3 years now.
Very cool. What's your educational background?
I just have a bachelor degree
In what discipline?
in government.
In government.
Yeah.
Awesome. So from government into government, how much are you making now?
Somewhere high 90s, low 100, yeah.
Very cool. And you live in New York?
Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Yeah.
Do you feel like your salary goes further in Connecticut compared to New York?
Yeah, definitely, probably. Just a little bit, though.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Any advice for others who are interested in your role? What would you tell them?
Just network, I feel like, is probably the biggest thing, and then just pursue your dreams, yeah.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a management consultant.
Very cool. How long have you been doing that?
I'm at 3 years now.
3 years. And
Yeah.
what's your educational background?
I have a BS in business and political economy, so it was kind of a natural transition to consulting.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And how much are you making in your role?
I make around $130,000 a year.
Nice. Do you feel well compensated?
I do. Yeah, it is definitely expensive living in New York, but I feel like for 3 years, I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, and management consulting, what are the best and worst parts? I hear work-life balance is a struggle. What's your experience been?
It's definitely dependent on the project that you're on in consulting. Sometimes it can be really, really long working hours, and sometimes it's pretty manageable. So it really depends on the project. But in general, I feel like it's a really great way to just learn.
Yeah.
It's such a great way to be exposed to different industries and types of work. So it was great coming out of college to try to help me figure out what I want to do.
I love that. And my next question is, can you explain management consulting to people who are like, what is this industry? What do these people do? Tell us a little bit more.
So management consulting is very broad, but it's kind of helping different companies who are looking to solve problems to manage those problems and come to different decisions, or help them implement different decisions that they make. And I know that's super vague, but if you think about anything a company does, whether they should enter a new market, whether they should implement a new technology, or how to organize their structure, consultants kind of specialize in all those different problems, technologies, solutions, so they can help provide answers and guidance for those different things.
I love that. I think you nailed that explanation so well. Definitely people are going to understand now. What advice would you share with others who are now interested in also working in management consulting? What's worked for you?
I feel like it's really important to focus on the people skills because a lot of it is client facing. So it's of course important to bring your technical skills and your business acumen, but being able to form relationships and being a trusted advisor is kind of the most important thing.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. Anything I didn't ask that you think is important to share?
I think it's just really important for young people to be transparent about their pay, and because it's kind of like the business is against you. So it's like if you can advocate for yourself and just be aware of what you deserve in the market, that's really important.
Yeah, and you said that you and your girlfriends are talking about it? Tell me about it.
We're so inspired. We are doing a whole financial literacy night where we're kind of talking about how to invest, how much we save in our 401ks, and all the different credit card companies you should use, trying to just help each other figure out how to be financially literate. So I feel like that's been really helpful too.
If you don't talk about it, you won't know.
Exactly.
So props to you and your friends.
Thank you.
What do you do for a living?
I am so I have 3 jobs.
Go for it,
I am a custodian at an off-Broadway theater.
Okay.
I am a receptionist at an off-Broadway theater, a different one, and then I am a photographer's assistant, freelance.
Very cool. So you're very into entertainment, that type of industry.
Yes.
What did you study in school?
I studied acting in school.
Okay.
So I, moved here to pursue acting, and now I've made a transition into doing more freelance work and then also working multiple other gigs.
To make ends meet. Are you in New York?
I am, yes.
Awesome. And how much are you making in the different roles, or cumulatively, however you look at it?
So I know that I'm making less than $25,000 because I just got on Medicare.
Okay.
So I make 17 an hour at one job, I make 19 an hour at another job, and then I make 40 an hour on like a freelance gig basis for my third job.
Yeah, I'm sure you don't, but do you feel well compensated?
Not exactly.
Yeah.
So it's tough out here.
Yeah. What advice would you share with others, after you've graduated? What do you wish somebody had told you before you graduated or before you came out to New York? What would you share to somebody coming in now?
That's hard. I would say be open to doing way more than you originally anticipated.
And why would you recommend that?
Because it turns out that a lot of the time you end up doing things that stray from the more direct set path that you expected.
Yeah, and you got to do that to get to where you want to go. Yeah. I appreciate it. Sorry to bother you. I've got an interesting question for y'all. Oh, a donation scam. Amazing. What do you do for a living?
I do data analytics for a bank.
Very cool. How long have you been doing that?
About 3 years.
3 years? What's your educational background?
Just business management, real general.
Very cool. And how much are you making and where are you based?
I'm based in Delaware and I'm making 108 a year.
For Delaware, I love it. Do you feel well compensated?
Actually, not really compared to my peers. They're all around like 125, 130.
I used to be a data analyst, and we started this channel because I was making $90 and found out I was underpaid $25,000 compared to people making more. So that makes sense. It's ridiculous, right?
But yeah, awesome.
Any advice that you would share with others who are interested in working in data analytics? What's worked for you?
Just learning from my coworkers. Honestly, we just bounce everything off of each other and pick up skills that way.
Love it.
And then we also talk about our salaries with each other.
That's the key.
Yeah,
Love
yeah.
it. What do you do for a living?
I'm a customer success manager.
Very cool. How long have you been doing that?
I've only been doing it for a year. I was a registered dental hygienist before that, and now I transferred out of clinical dentistry with a master's in business to customer success.
Nice. Why did you transition? More money, the master's?
Actually, not as much money, but neck pain, back pain from dental hygiene, just constant headaches, and I couldn't do it anymore, so I had to switch.
I interviewed a dental hygienist who'd been doing it 18 years, and that's exactly what she said.
Yes,
she said they don't understand like the pain on the body.
Yeah, it's constant, especially if you're working full time and you're seeing, 12 to 16 patients a day, it can get pretty brutal. So
no money is worth that. And what about you? What do you do for a living?
I'm a resident psychiatrist.
Oh, very cool. I love it. How long have you been doing that?
4 months now. Yeah.
4 months.
Yeah.
And what's your background? Did you do something before? Did you graduate recently?
I graduated medical school in July.
Okay.
And we started and we're loving it so far.
I love it. How much are you making in your roles now?
So I'm at 80,000.
Nice.
81,000.
81,000. Do y'all feel well compensated, and do you live and work in New York, or where are you based?
I'm remote, so my company's based out of Utah.
Nice.
Do I feel well compensated? Yes, most days, but obviously I'd, take a pay increase. Maybe with more experience. I've just been at it for a year, so for a year of experience, I do feel well compensated.
Awesome. What about you?
I think my compensation's great. We're out in Glen Oaks, like Queens.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's pretty fair.
For a resident physician, he gets paid really well. A lot of people might know that resident physicians aren't paid enough for the work and hours that they put in. So we are grateful that he's there. But for those people fighting for, resident benefits and unions, keep pushing, and we can hope that everyone can get paid as well as this program in Queens. So.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I kind of want to end it there. I just have one more question. Any advice that you would share with others about your career that you feel you didn't know when you started that would help somebody who's interested in going in there?
I think for a dental hygiene perspective, be aware that it is really tough on your body before you put in, the 4 years of school to do it.
Yeah.
And going into the business world, I think getting a master's degree helps show that you're interested and that you care about those positions going forward. But just being consistent, it is a really tough job market right now with business jobs. So just keep applying and, show your personality and keep trying your best.
Yeah,
it's tricky. It's hard.
What about you?
I would say take the time to get to know yourself. If you need to take a gap year or a couple years off, that's totally normal. That's totally fine because it's a long life, and figure out what you want to do and love what you do.
I love it. You guys are so wholesome. Thank you so
you.
much. And
Thanks
thank
for
you,
having
Queenie. She was so patient. What do y'all do for a living?
I'm a registered nurse. I work in the ER, but I'm not from here, so I live in West Virginia. But
Cool. I love it. Thanks for sharing. What about you?
I'm an entry-level accountant in New Jersey.
Very cool. Accountants. I've heard that there's a shortage because y'all are not compensated enough, which brings me to the next question. How much do you make?
with overtime and everything, I would say close to $75,000 a year.
Nice. Do you feel well compensated for West Virginia?
Yeah.
Love it. And what about you?
Starting at 90,000.
90. Okay, that's better than what I've heard. So I think you're doing good.
I'm in a decent company. There's an opportunity for bonus too. I'm not mad at it.
I love it. Yeah, it's a stressful job though. I'm sure around tax season. Any thoughts on work-life balance?
So I haven't been into a busy season yet, but it's
Okay.
been pleasant enough so far. Summer's sort of a lull, so we'll see how it goes. But I'm hoping for a decent, 40, 50 hours a week.
Yeah,
So-
not over 50.
Not over 50.
And what about you? How is your work-life balance? It must be a stressful job.
Yeah, it is stressful, but I enjoy it. I just started working down there. I just graduated from RN school recently, so it's nice. I do like it. With overtime and everything, it does get stressful. Plus, I'm in school too, so it's a lot. But usually, baseline, I work like 36 hours a week, so it's not
Okay.
awful.
Yeah,
It's not awful at all.
Any advice that you would share with others who are interested in doing what you do? You guys just graduated. What have you learned that someone should have told you before you graduated?
Nursing school is not like real life. Just saying that right now. But as long as you love what you do, you'll like it. Just pick somewhere that you feel like you'll enjoy. Don't let anybody pressure you into doing anything, going anywhere that you don't want to go, as far as nursing, healthcare in general.
Great advice. Yeah. What about you?
I'd say stay curious about the different types of positions that are open because there's always a better salary, better benefits, something that you're not getting at your current job is there.
Yeah, I love it. I love that you're thinking that way ahead because it'll pay you more in the long run. What do you do for a living?
I work in IT operations for an insurance company.
Very cool. How long have you been doing that?
5 years now.
5 years. What's your educational background?
I have a bachelor's and a master's.
Nice.
Yeah.
In what discipline?
Nothing completely related. I
Oh,
studied
okay.
economics, I was an economist, and then I transitioned to insurance. So,
Very cool.
Yeah.
What made the transition happen?
Job market. Job market was really good for insurance where I live, so yeah, it was worth it. Yeah.
I love it. And where are you located?
North Jersey. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
And how much do you make?
yeah. Can I give you a range?
You can sure give me a range.
Yeah, between on a good year can be anywhere from 180 to 240,000. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you feel well compensated?
Yeah, I would say so. Mostly the company I work for is just really good with 401k matches and bonuses. So yeah.
That total compensation, people always look at the base salary, but all package really adds up, right?
Absolutely.
What advice would you share with others based on what you've learned in your career? Like, what do you wish somebody had told you about working in insurance before you started?
Don't be afraid to learn. Don't be afraid to just go out there and try different things. I've been in 3 different industries and I have less than 9 years of experience, and it's just all about getting out there. You don't have to go to college. I went to college, a lot of people have, but I have friends that work in trades and they do really well. They have 6 figures, they make a living, and honestly, low-cost areas. Don't have to go always live in the big city. I know New York's great, but there are other small areas, so yeah.
I love it. Mic drop. What do you do for a living?
I'm a resident.
Ooh, okay. How long have you been doing that? I know that might be a dumb question, but I don't know healthcare.
No, not at all. I'm a third year, and
Okay.
my residency program is 3 years, so I'm a last year.
So you're almost there. What comes next? A doctor?
I am a doctor. I will do independent practice as a doctor, a primary care doctor. So
I love
yeah,
it.
and maybe fellowship, but we're thinking about it.
We're thinking about
yeah.
it. How much are you making in your current role?
How much am I making now? I think our salaries are about $72K.
Okay. Do you feel well compensated, and where are you based?
I'm in Philadelphia. I don't feel well compensated.
That's kind of low.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people I hear in that role don't make enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and the place that I'm at, we have a union, and so we're kind of negotiating for higher wages. So that's good. But yeah.
If you're watching this, we want more money, okay? Any advice that you would share with others? Things that you didn't know before you started that you wish you had known? Anything you would share?
Financially, I mean, I think it's advice. So because I'm in medicine, I feel like anyone who's in medicine, you start making money a little bit later. And then the money that you make, it's kind of like a slow climb until you're like independently practicing. And so the best advice that I've gotten is just remember to put away money to save. And it's hard when you're in residency because people have loans and everything like that, but just investing in yourself, putting something away for tomorrow, and then, I don't know, hoping for the best.
That's great advice.
Hoping for the best.
What do y'all do for a living?
I'm a management consultant.
Okay.
Yep.
And how long have you been doing that?
About 3 years now.
Very cool.
Right.
What about you?
I work in engineering, but I'm a project manager, I guess.
Okay. How long have you been doing that?
About 5 years.
5 years. Cool. And what are your educational backgrounds? Relevant or not relevant?
Kind of. I did mechanical engineering.
Okay.
So it's somewhat relevant to what I do.
Yeah. Are you
Yeah.
in like the engineering industry with management?
I'm in construction as well.
Got it.
Yeah.
Cool. What about you?
I also did mechanical engineering, and I do, work in the relevant space, so.
Love it. Do y'all like work together, met in school?
We used to. She was an intern when we met. But I've since moved on from that company.
But the friendship has remained.
Exactly. Exactly.
I love it.
Yeah.
How much are you making in your roles now?
I make around 170 on a good year, but it's give or take. Of course, there's like bonuses and whatnot that you have to take into consideration.
Yeah. And are you based in New York? Do you feel well compensated?
Technically based in Jersey.
Okay.
So yeah, very safe to say it's pretty well compensated.
I love it. Yeah, it sounds good to me.
Yeah.
What about you? How much are you making?
I make 100.
100. And are you based in New York, or where are you based?
I live a few blocks from here.
Nice. Do you feel well compensated?
No, I don't.
So expensive here.
It is. It sure is. Yeah.
Yeah. Any advice that you would share with others based on what you've learned in your industry that you wish somebody had told you before you started that you think would help somebody coming in?
Absolutely. I think it's really just finding out what you're passionate about, and finding the door to let you have that opportunity.
Yeah.
And just going for it. I want to say that. But also at the same time being mindful of how the job market is like. It's a difficult time right now.
For sure.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's
What about?
pretty-
Oh no, I cut
yeah.
you off.
No,
Keep going.
absolutely. That's it. I'm done.
All right. What about you?
I would say if you want to make a lot of money,
That's important.
don't go into like mechanical engineering fields.
Okay.
It's true.
Yeah,
like
no, I agree.
I say I'm an engineer, and people are always like, "You must make so much money." I'm like, literally, no.
Yeah.
I wish.
Yeah.
People think equate it to software, computer engineering.
Yeah.
It's so different.
Right.
So you just need to be prepared for that, and like realize that like the ceiling is a lot lower.
Yep.
I think the work is super rewarding, and like especially in like the energy and sustainability space, it's
Yeah.
great. But a lot of trade-offs, and with everyone like student loans and everything, it's just you got a lot to be aware of.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's why we do this, more transparency.
Exactly.
So I appreciate it. Thank you so much for sharing.
Sounds
Thank you
great.
so much.